In this lesson, we're going to go over place. Place means get on this object. And it could be anything raised or elevated, like a dog bed, a couch, if they're allowed on the furniture, a rock, an electrical box, a tree stump, patio furniture, anything your dog can get on, I now want to call place. We're going to use place for a bunch of different reasons. First, we're going to send your dog to a spot to hang out when we do other stuff. An example would be you'll send your dog to their dog bed while you answer the front door. Or they hang out on the couch while you eat dinner instead of begging. We're also going to be using place to teach your dog to stay. Imagine place is like training wheels. We're teaching your dog to stay on a spot. Once they understand that, we're going to take the place away and they'll stay no matter where they are. So we're using place to teach your dog to stay. And last, we're using place to work on your dog's impulse control and build their confidence. Right now, every bunny rabbit, dog, and new person your dog sees, they think they're there to see them. Now, we're going to keep your dog on place and they're going to have to watch the world pass them by. And no longer will it be the leash holding them or the door or the crate. They'll have to hold themselves there and build that impulse control. When I first got to boot camp, I had horrible impulse control. They'd say, "Don't move." And as soon as someone said, "Don't move," I'd want to move and itch my face. Or they make you drink a lot of water. Hydration is important, but makes you want to go pee all the time. So in the beginning, every second felt like an hour because my face itched and I had to go potty. But after 3 months of boot camp, I learned impulse control. I learned, hey, you don't have to move and it's okay. So same thing with your dog. I want to put him in front of the bunny rabbit and say, hey, you don't have to run. You could do the right thing. We're also going to be using this to work on their confidence. Place is scary for a lot of dogs in the beginning, but each time they do it, they'll get more and more confident, just like baby Simba. First, let's talk about how to get your dog on a new object. Most dogs have a hard time jumping on new stuff. You see this when you take them to the vet and you try and put them on the scale, or the first time getting in the car, or going up and down the stairs. Dogs have a hard time jumping on new stuff. It's a big trust issue. So anytime I show them a new place, I put my body weight up there. Or you can pat it, you can use treats, or light leash pressure. Get them comfortable with the place. Imagine it's just like Indiana Jones jumping off into that invisible bridge. He had to sprinkle some sand to realize it's safe, and then he made his leap of faith. Same thing with your dog. So when I get to the vet, as I walk up to the scale, I'll put my foot on the scale, just like Captain Morgan. My dog looks and goes, "Oh yeah, we're comfortable," and then they jump up from there. So anytime you show your dog a new place, get them comfortable with it first. Don't force it. Once your dog's comfortable with place, then you can bring in the commands and the buttons. This week, the answer is always come to the place right in front of you. So it's going to be come, place, sits. And you're going to hit the button with all 3 words. Same rules apply as the first lesson. If they make an attempt, help them. If not, slowly turn it up until you grab their attention. With that release word, go play, it's really going to come in handy here. Once you release your dog from the place, go ahead and pat them on the head when you tell them go play. I'm having you pat them on the head to set the habit not to release your dog from a distance. Trust me, it'll pay off big time in the long run. When I'm doing place, notice where my body is. I'm continually moving my body to put the place in between us. Or I'm playing ring around the rosies with the dog. It makes it so much easier, and it gets to the point where you can almost control your dog without the leash. So your body language is very important when doing place. Try and keep the place in between you guys. Now, I know that's hard to do if the dog bed's against the wall or you're not going to jump over the couch, but do your best to help your dogs out, especially in the beginning. Once your dog is comfortable getting on and off the place, then we can work on the duration. First of all, let's get the word stay out of your vocabulary. Imagine stay is implied with every single command I give, and that's why we have the release word, go play. Instead, every time you want to tell your dog stay, just tell him sit, and hit the button every time you do. In the beginning, you want to manage your dog just like a new employee or a little kid. You want to tell him sit before you turn around, or sit before you open the door. In the beginning, you have to manage him a little bit, but every day will get easier. If your dog leaves place, we're going to play the floor is lava. You're going to go ahead and hold that C button down and keep telling them place until they get back on place. Now the first couple times you do this, your dog's going to be confused. They're used to us just tapping the button. So when you hold it, use a leash to show them to getting on the place is what turns the lava off. Now most dogs, they'll try and get off one side and then step off the other, and then eventually they'll figure it out real quick. When keeping your dog on place, keep the duration and the distance small. So I'll walk 10 feet away, touch the counter, come back and release your dog. The next repetition, try and walk to the fridge, open the fridge, close it. Don't take any food out yet, but go ahead and close it, come back and release your dog. So each time adds some distraction and some duration. Your homework for place is to show your dog different places. Get them comfortable if they're nervous. And to keep your dog on place, different amounts of time. Start easy, couple seconds here and there, walk away, touch the counter, come back and release them. But each time increase some distance and some distractions. Now I want it to be you try and keep them on place while you answer the door for our next lesson. That's too hard to work on if you don't have people coming over all the time. So you can have the kids go out and pretend to ring the doorbell, or I have a function on my Ring doorbell that I can ring it from my cell phone. Practice daily and every day will get easier. At my house, I have 2 rules. I keep my dogs on place before I feed them or before I let them outside. I don't care if we're late for a lesson. I don't care if my house is on fire. We're not going to eat, or you're not going to go out the back door unless you're on place. Now, I'm religious about it, but if you think about it, that's 13 times a day my dogs have to place, and they're really good at place. So look for real life situations where you'll place your dog. Start easy, but increase the distance and distractions throughout the week. And don't be afraid to use the leash. If your dog is having any problems staying on place, you can help them by using a leash. There are 2 options. If there's another human around, you can have them loosely hold the leash while you create some distance or create some distractions. The extra human can then help the dog when they come off of place. This allows you to stay at a distance and play the floor is lava. Or if you're by yourself, you can tie your dog to something they can't move with a couple of feet of slack in the leash. Now, when your dog comes off of the place, the leash will stop them. You can then play the floor is lava from a distance, and your dog will have no other option but to get back onto the place.